Hi Cancerians, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your reading. So we're doing the readings, you know, you've had some bonus readings this month which I really enjoyed doing. What I've decided to do going forward now, every now and again you'll get a bonus reading in, okay? So every now and again things will change up on the channel just for sort of the month or so, you know, because sometimes I like doing different spreads and I like looking at different things for you guys. But usually the running scheme of things will be you'll have one singles reading, Gypsy Tarot Love Spread for singles, and one Gypsy Tarot Love Spread for couples, okay? And you'll also get your general reading, and that'll be every 2 weeks. So, as usual, the deck that we always use is the YouTube Gypsy Tarot Love Spread tarot deck, which is used via the Witch's Tarot. I have different decks for different things, I just like doing it that way. So we're using that one. Let's just get the cards out. There we go. And we're going to use, in terms of your clarifier, the miniature tarot deck, the Rider-Waite deck miniature edition, which we use as a clarifier if we need to for this particular reading, and we've also got as your advice card Cancerians, the Romance Angels, okay? So what we want to do is we're going to start shuffling the deck, and we're going to see what's coming in for you singles, okay? Between the 16th and the 31st of October. So Universe Spirit, show me Cancerians, single Cancerians. I just want to see those people who don't have relationships at the moment. It's Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. For those Cancerians who are single, show me what's coming in love-wise for those Cancerians who are single over between the 16th and the 31st of October. Show me Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Those Cancerians, Sun, Moon and Rising signs who are single, show me. In a 21 card Gypsy Tarot spread, show me. Alright, so we're going to go back to doing the Gypsy Tarot spread how I used to do it, which is the 7 areas: mental, emotional, present situation, hopes, desires, expectations, hidden influences coming in, immediate future and overall outcome. I like doing it the other way, but this is my favourite way to do it. So we're going to put the deck back together now, and we're going to start laying the cards. So 7 cards at the top, like so. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We might just shuffle these over just a little bit here so that we have lots of space. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mix up like so. 6 and 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And remember, this is for you guys who are single, okay? So sorry if the spread is a little bit wonky. What I do next is I turn the bottom card over, and you've got the Magician here, and it's a lovely card because the Magician represents all new things that are starting up. So some of you guys, it might be that new love is coming in because you've got a Magician energy showing there, okay? And you've got the 6 of Wands here. So I choose 3 cards from the bottom of the deck to have a look at what the overall energy seems to be saying for you guys. The overall energy is the Magician. So this is the card where somebody's orchestrating something, or new love, usually the Magician. So when you get a Magician, it represents something new is happening. It's a manifestation card, so it represents new things starting out, especially in terms of love. It might be that you guys have, you know, it could be that there is an intention maybe to, because the Magician also represents an intention to do something. So it might be for some of you guys there is an intention to juggle. And because you're single, this is coming from you. So it might be that there is an intention to juggle a couple of options here. But it might be with the Six of Wands that the options that you find in the last 2 weeks of October 2017, Cancerians, it might lead nowhere because you've got the Six of Wands in the reverse, and when you get the Six of Wands, it doesn't mean that something brings victory, it means it brings the opposite. It means delays, and it means that success is not granted at this time. So I think for you guys, it might be, I feel with this Magician, there is an intention here that you have maybe to look at a couple of options in terms of love if you're single. So you've got an intention to kind of start dating maybe a couple of people here, looking at a couple of options. What's the potential of partners around you? So it might be speed dating, for example. Internet dating for some of you guys, Cancerians, for example. But it might be with the Six of Wands in the reverse that it doesn't really sort of take off. So it might be, I get the impression some of you guys might be looking to date maybe a couple of people, just looking. This doesn't even have to mean a couple of people. It can just simply mean, Cancerians, that you're looking at a couple of different, you know, just options, just different options. But it might be with the Six of Wands showing us reverse that it doesn't really take off for you, okay? Let's have a look at what your mental and emotional is. Well, the situation is the Nine of Pentacles. So the situation is a lot of you guys will be on your own. And with the Nine of Pentacles, a lot of readers read the Nine of Pentacles as somebody is happy to be on their own. They want to be on their own. It's not always the case. Sometimes it's just the circumstance that you find yourself in. Being single, being on your own. Whether you're the Nine of Pentacles, you know, for me as a card, when I look at this card, yes, it is an independent person. It is a single person usually. And they've got a lot of stuff around them. So the Nine of Pentacles shows somebody who's, you know, happy with their living circumstances. So it might be that you've got lots of friends around you. It might be with the Nine of Pentacles that you've got a lot of possessions around you. It might be that you're not doing too badly for work. You're not doing too badly for food. You're not doing too badly for the home that you live in, for example. You're okay in terms of your material life. But for me, the Nine of Pentacles doesn't necessarily mean that you want to be on your own. It just means that being on your own is made easier by the possessions or the people that you have around you or the work that you do. So the situation is, nevertheless, you guys are on your own. Now, mentally and emotionally, how are you feeling about that? Well, yeah, you're feeling good. You're the Fool. Mentally and emotionally, though, the good thing is around this is that you're ready. Because the Fool card means ready to jump into life. It means that you're ready to jump into a new circumstance, okay? So you're ready. Sorry, I was just turning my heater off. When you get the Fool card, this is all about pursuing new beginnings, okay? So mentally and emotionally, mentally is the Fool card. There's a sense of freedom here. You're really envisioning new paths, new directions that you want to take in terms of love. But with the Fool card as well, it also references somebody who isn't necessarily looking for commitment. Because that's what the Fool energy is. The Fool card can mean several things. But the Fool card, one thing that the Fool card doesn't mean is commitment. It means where you're quite happy to, look at different options for love. You're quite happy to even go into a new relationship. But the Fool is 0, so you've got a long road ahead of you as the Fool, you know. As the Fool, you've got a long road ahead of you. And sometimes with this card, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. You just don't, because he's the Fool. He's looking upwards. He's got a lot of expectations. And they're usually positive expectations when you get the Fool. So I think mentally you guys have some positive expectations in terms of love for the future. You're showing us 2 very strong cards. I mean, the situation is very, very strong being the Nine of Pentacles. You're not the Nine of Swords showing here, and you're not the Hermit, which is great. You're the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is an extraordinarily strong card within the tarot. It shows somebody feels independent, okay? It shows somebody who's happy in terms of, you know, what they're doing in life. It doesn't mean that you don't want a relationship. It simply means, okay, well, I don't have a relationship, but I've got a nice home to live in. I've got nice clothing. I've probably got a nice car. You know, I've got nice food to eat. I've got friendships. Okay, so you kind of substitute love for other things. There's other things that you love as the Nine of Pentacles individual. So the situation is this for a lot of you single Cancerians. But around that situation, mentally and emotionally, you've got some high expectations, or you've simply got expectations for the future in terms of love. I feel emotionally, you're not feeling bound by anything. You're feeling free. You're feeling ready to go out there and pursue love. And that's a great thing showing up. It's a really good card. Mentally and emotionally being the Fool is awesome. What's the reason for the Fool energy? Right, some of you guys have healed from a situation. You've got the Nine of Wands in the reverse. So Nine of Wands in the reverse represents recovering from situations. It means that you're no longer holding out. Here, this Nine of Wands, usually in the Rider-Waite, it shows somebody with a band-aid on their head, Cancerians. But this card, you know, and it shows somebody who's still kind of holding on out there. So usually when you get the Nine of Wands, somebody's either still waiting for someone to come back in a relationship, or somebody's waiting for love, or somebody's been holding out for something for an awful long time and they're eager and they're a little bit anxious. But in the reverse, you're kind of just letting it all go. You're recovering, you know. You guys are no longer kind of, I don't think that you're either way looking for anything as such. And even if you are, you're kind of loose about it and you're kind of controlled about it, but controlled in a good way. It's kind of like, well, if it comes in great. And if it doesn't come in, then it doesn't come in great. But, you know, I get an impression here with this lovely area in the mental and emotional that though some of you guys are expectant, and with the Fool card being your mental and emotional, but you're not, you know, you're not worrying about love. You're just going out there and you're just going to, because the Fool is a very free card. It means to be free. It means to be carefree. So mentally and emotionally, you guys are very carefree about love. And, you know, you're going out there and you're saying, you know what? I'd like to have a relationship. I'd like to meet someone. But you know what? I'm not held back by that. It's not dominating my life every single minute of the day, which is lovely. Because the situation is this. Very strong card as well. And the situation, the reason for this is this. Because you guys aren't so much holding on to the idea of, oh, I've got to have a relationship. I've got to have a relationship. It's more, well, if it comes, it comes. You're definitely in recovery mode. Some of you guys, it might be that you came out of a difficult relationship or a difficult situation for you singles Cancerians. But you're definitely recovered from with that Nine of Wands in the reverse. You're really getting there. And also, it's just a case of that you're not so adamant, I don't feel, with these three cards to really have that love come in. It's almost like I get the feeling with these three areas that it's, well, if it comes in, it comes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm just going to go out and have a good time and see what it is that I can find. Let's have a look at what the present situation is for you guys. So, the situation is around burden though. This is interesting. And hopefully this will be a better card, really. Because the Ten of Wands represents burdens that we carry. And this person is carrying a burden. So, the situation around the present is about a burden. What's going on around that burden though? Well, the Ten of Swords. So, you guys have given up on something here for sure. There's, you know, you get multiple tens in a reading and it really just represents a complete and utter change happening. So around this burden, you guys, the present situation is the Ten of Swords. So some of you guys, it might be that you felt betrayed in a relationship. Because the present, we've got the situation being a burden. And that burden is showing the Ten of Swords. So we're asking, well, if the situation is the Ten of Wands, then how does that reflect the present? Hello? So we've got the situation being this Ten of Wands, and around that situation in the present, some of you guys will be feeling defeated. Some of you guys might even be feeling that, you know, betrayed, let down, disappointed, because the situation is about you guys carrying a burden. And around that burden of the Ten of Wands, we've got, so we're asking, well, what's the burden about? Well, it's about the Ten of Swords. Some of you guys might have let somebody down. Sometimes the Ten of Wands can be where you're feeling guilty. So for some of you guys, it might be that you're carrying a heavy burden here. The situation is that you're carrying a heavy burden. And around that, it might be that you let someone down, Cancerians. It could be that somebody let you down. Either way, there's disappointment here. What's the reason for that, though? Yeah, it's because of love. Ace of Cups. Love, new love. So some of you guys, it might be that there was a new relationship, because you've got the Ace of Cups showing here, which pretty much always represents new relationships or being in love. And I feel that this is why you guys with the Ten of Swords, it could be that you've given up, could be that you feel disappointed, it could be that you feel betrayed, but it's because of a new relationship that came in, okay? So some of you guys are feeling burdened by that. It's either that you let somebody down or somebody let you down, okay? But as a result of that, in the mental and emotional, the full energy here, because you're free of this, which is good. And I think that some of you guys, either way, are recovering from it with that Nine of Wands in the reverse. What's going on around your hopes and desires? Well, the situation is about the lovers. So the situation is about finding that soulmate relationship, the relationship that you can connect with another individual on. And what's your hopes? Well, your hopes are for a Queen of Wands, okay? So there might be somebody already in your eye line, okay? Some of you guys, it might be that you've already got somebody in your head, somebody that you already know, somebody that you are very attracted to. So, situation lovers, what is it about the lovers? Well, your hopes are for a Queen of Wands, male or female. This is somebody who's very attractive, somebody who's very fearless, somebody who's very motivated, they're very confident within themselves. I think that you're almost looking for, your hopes are to find somebody who's got the whole package, which is what the Queen of Wands has. But as an energy, this would be somebody who could attract. So for some of you guys, it might be that your hopes are to attract, because the Queen of Wands means to attract, because she attracts people in. So your hopes would be, if this isn't a person, your hopes are to attract love, to attract suitors, to attract people who are attracted to you. And what's the reason for that? Well, there you go. I mean, it's beautiful. It's just such nice energy. It really, really is. You guys are definitely lifting some burdens here. You've got the Nine of Wands in the reverse, recovery. You've got the Nine of Swords in the reverse, again, recovery. This is usually recovery from mental pressures. So if you guys have been having a lot of mental pressures around love, you're resolving these issues here with the Nine of Swords. If there's been a lot of kind of angst going on with the Nine of Wands in the upright, in the reverse, you're losing all of that angst and all of that anxiety. I'm seeing a release of anxiety and mental pressures going on for you, Cancerians here. And it's around the situation here, because you've got in the present situation, yes, there are burdens. And around those burdens, what are the burdens? The Ten of Swords. Some of you guys let somebody down, somebody let you down, and it was probably a new relationship here. But mentally and emotionally, you're freeing yourself of this situation because you're letting go of the anxiety. The situation is, you know, you're okay on your own, Nine of Pentacles. You know, the situation around your desires, well, it's the focus is on the lovers, finding a soulmate relationships in which your hopes, Cancerians, are either for maybe somebody with an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius type of personality, somebody who's fearless, as the Queen of Wands is, ambitious, motivated, sexy, attractive, all of the whole caboodle, or you're hoping to attract new love in because you're finally letting go of something here. And especially if you're the ones that have caused something here, Cancerians, if you were feeling guilty with this Nine of Wands, it's Ten of Wands, if the situation is guilt, and around that maybe you guys let somebody down, it might have been new love, you look like you're releasing this energy with the Nine of Swords in the reverse. What are your expectations around love? So the situation is about studying and focusing hard and making some form of an effort. What is it around that you're expecting? Well, you're expecting to come across options at least, because you've got that Seven of Cups. And what's the reason for that? Well, the Nine of Cups in the reverse. You've not had much luck, have you, single Cancerians? Because the Nine of Cups in the reverse means you don't get your wish. It means that you're not getting the achievement that you want, okay? It means dissatisfaction. So a lot of you guys have found it difficult to find love, Cancerians, you singles Cancerians, because your expectation is for new options to open up because you've not had success, because you've been dissatisfied in what it is that you've found so far. So the situation with the Eight of Pentacles is, in one way or another, this might be online dating, whatever dating you want to call it, just putting a lot of focus and attention into finding the one. What is hidden? What's coming in for you that you can't see? Well, the Two of Swords is the situation. So it might be that you've got a decision to make with that Two of Swords. What is it you can't see coming in around that? Well, you've got the Page of Swords in the reverse. Could be an air sign individual, would be younger air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Could be somebody from your past maybe coming back, because you've got the Two of Swords being the situation. So you might be blocking somebody out here. And around that blocking out, why is that? Why are you blocking somebody out? The Page of Swords in the reverse might be somebody you had difficulty with in the past, especially things like communication. It might be somebody you didn't trust. It might be somebody who was manipulative, who was sneaky, that type of thing. What's the reason for that though? Yeah, because of the Three of Cups in the reverse. There might have been some cheating or something like that. You fell out with someone. So I think that what you're going to be doing, what's coming in is somebody from the past. I think it's somebody, the situation is you're blocking someone out, the Two of Swords. And around that blocking somebody out being the situation, what is it that you can't see coming in? The Page of Swords. Okay, this might be information coming through from an individual, communication coming through from an individual. It could be an air sign individual, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But the Page of Swords in the reverse usually represents somebody who's being sneaky, somebody who's checking you out online, that type of thing. So somebody who's acting as a spy. Can be that in the upright and the reverse. So what you can't see coming in, I think, is somebody maybe that you've already known before. But the reason that they're coming in is the Three of Cups, that you fell out with somebody here. So I think somebody might be coming in, but I think that you'll be blocking them out. I don't think that you're going to be answering them. I think somebody's coming back in. What's the immediate future for love? Well, the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, there's a wait that's over for some of you guys. Seven of Pentacles in the upright means that you're waiting. But in the reverse, it means that the wait is over. Let's have a look what's going on around that. Yes, you've got love, you've got the Two of Cups, you've got a connection coming in with another individual here. And let's have a look at what the reason is for that, because of the Strength card in the reverse. And that's interesting. Strength card in the reverse also means patience and a wait, but it also means that you give up on, you surrender to something here. There's a waiting that's over for you guys here, and around that waiting that's over, there's a relationship coming in for some of you single Cancerians, that Two of Cups energy, because of the Strength in the reverse. And I think that somehow you guys are lowering or letting down your defences here. So I think that you're letting somebody in with this Strength card in the reverse. Could also be a Leo energy. Let's have a look at the overall outcome. Well, the Four of Pentacles is the overall outcome, and I think it's too early to say that you're latching on to somebody here. So there might be a little bit of resistance coming in for some of you guys with that Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles usually shows somebody who is very... it's not so much that you're really defensive, you're just protecting yourself with the Four of Pentacles showing up. So with the Four of Pentacles, sometimes it's difficult to get to know a person. This will either be the person that you meet is going to do this, with the situation being this, or it's you that does it. It could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, for example. What's coming up around that? Oh, because of the Hierophant in the reverse. A person might be having problems. It could be somebody that comes in, for example, somebody who's already married. Hierophant in the reverse. Sometimes this can mean an unconventional relationship, for example. So with the Hierophant in the reverse, it could be a relationship, for example, with somebody who's already married, for example. You know, but for some reason, somebody's holding back. Situation is somebody's holding back. And around that holding back, we've got the Hierophant in the reverse. So this is a lack of commitment as well. The inability to commit to an individual. What's the reason for that? Oh, because of the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands says, I want to be free. I don't really want to. I think this might be either the person's energy or it's going to be your energy. Somebody's not going to, they're not going to keep promises. They're not going to want to commit to something here. It's an interest, and this is why you've got these energies here. Okay, you do have the failure card of the Six of Wands showing here. You've got the intention to start sort of looking at different options with the Two of Pentacles, but it will bring not a lot of success for some of you guys overall. Let's go through the reading again, and we're going to get some clarifiers maybe on some of these areas, because you've got this situation in the overall outcome, and I think because you're single, I see you guys meeting somebody here. You're meeting them because of Strength in the reverse. Now, Strength in the reverse means not to hold back. Okay, so it just means to surrender to something here. Strength in the upright means to it means to withhold, it means to be patient, but it also means not to move forward so fast in a situation, and really just to hold back a little bit and see how things peter themselves out. So really the Strength card is about having inner strength, inner belief, and holding back. But in the reverse, it means that you surrender and you tend to just give up on something here. But it's not about giving up for you guys. It's about surrendering or lowering some form of a boundary. Because in the upright, the Strength card can also mean boundaries. So I think that you're going to meet someone. This is why the situation is a wait is over. Because I think there's a connection coming in. And that's because of Strength. I think that you guys let somebody in. Okay? I think that you didn't want to let somebody in before. Alright, but I think you had a change of mind. I think you let someone in, but I think the overall outcome is saying that the situation with the Four of Pentacles is, it's a very short-lived thing with this Four of Pentacles. Because around that situation we have the High Priest. And the High Priest, you know, usually this refers to commitments like marriages and unions. But it might be that the situation with you holding yourselves back is because something is very unconventional maybe with this relationship with the High Priest. Okay, it might also be when you get the High Priest in the reverse, what you're doing is you're paying attention sometimes to your own guidance system rather than somebody else's. And it might be that for some of you guys holding back, with that High Priest being the situation around that, what you want, you don't want something traditional, because the High Priest in the reverse represents to go against the grain and to go against conventional thoughts and traditions. So it might be you hold back because you don't really want to go towards, you know, the conventional dating route, i.e. let's go dating, let's I'll call you, you call me, let's do this, let's go cinema on a Wednesday, let's go to lunch on a Thursday. You know, you don't want anything too conventional, I feel, with this High Priest in the reverse. It's either you or the person doesn't want anything too conventional because of the Knight of Wands. What they want to do is still sort of search around. I think that you're still on a search. It's either you or the other person that will still be on a search for love. Very interesting reading. Let's get this reading again. Just want to get a little bit of a drink if you don't mind, because my throat's very dry. So this reading is for all of you single Cancerians, okay? The general energies are reading as a Magician. And I think that some of you guys are starting to look at different options. I think you've got an intention just to kind of play around with different options, see what's out there. But I don't think it's going to lead anywhere for the moment for some of you single Cancerians, okay? With that Six of Wands showing in the reverse. Your mental and emotional, well, the situation is about you guys being, you know, young, free, and single. And that's of any age at all. You're single and you're kind of loving it with the Nine of Pentacles. Doesn't mean that you don't want a relationship, but it kind of means, relationships aren't the top of my, they're not at the top of my list. I'm kind of okay without that. I'd like one, but I'm not kind of desperate for a relationship. So here, the situation around your mental and emotional sees you guys not being desperate for a relationship, and you take pleasure in other things. Around that mentally and emotionally, you're really cool because you've got the Fool card being your mental and emotional status. So the Fool as a mental status means being open to possibilities, which is what the Fool is. Emotionally, you're not bound to anything. You're not desperate for a relationship. Emotionally, you're kind of free. You're kind of easy about stuff with the Fool energy. You're definitely open to possibilities here, Cancerians, singles Cancerians. But I don't see you guys being desperate for any type of relationship. And that's because of the Nine of Wands in the reverse. I think that you're kind of out of the stage of the Nine of Wands in the upright, which is where you're still looking, you're still eager, you're still on tenterhooks. Is it going to happen? Am I going to meet someone? It's not like that with the Nine of Wands in the reverse. You're kind of easy about stuff. You're not so on it to have that relationship. All along here I'm seeing ease with Cancerians. Single Cancerians, you just look really kind of like you're not desperate. You'd like a relationship, yeah. You'd like to start seeing people, yeah, but you're not desperate for it. Around the present situation, though, you guys have been carrying, the situation is about somebody who's carrying a burden, and this is you. So there are burdens that have been carried around the situation, and around those burdens, it's either somebody hurt you with this Ten of Swords, they let you down, they betrayed you, or you betrayed another person, Cancerians, and that was to do with a new relationship that you entered. So I think that some of you guys might have had a short-term relationship maybe with an individual, or it was just simply that you betrayed somebody in love or somebody betrayed you in love. However, in your hopes, well, situation is about soulmate relationships, the lover's energy, finding someone that you're in sync with completely, heart, mind, body and soul, in which you're hoping for a Queen of Wands. Could be somebody that you've seen around, sexy, beautiful, charismatic, confident, or it could simply be that you'd hope to find that type of person here. Could also be that because the Queen of Wands as an energy means to attract people in, the hope is also to attract in new love, because the Nine of Swords in the reverse, you're starting to let go of some of this pressure you've been feeling, especially around this area here. Around your expectations, well, the situation is you guys have been doing a lot of studying. You might have been doing online dating, that type of thing, in which you're expecting to have lots of options coming forward. Seven of Cups. So some of you guys, it might be that you found it very difficult to find love because you've not had much success, have you? Nine of Cups in the reverse. And if you've met someone, it's just not worked out in the long term at all with that Nine of Cups in the reverse. You just haven't hit the ball, you know, the bullseye with this Nine of Cups in the reverse. Nine of Cups in the upright means to have your wish fulfilled. You've not had your wishes fulfilled here. So your expectations are, well, if I put enough effort in whichever way you put effort in to find love, then there should be lots of options that come forward, because I've not had much luck in love, and many of the relationships I've had just haven't ended up the way that I've wanted them to end up. What you can't see coming in is a situation, the Two of Swords. I think you guys are going to be blocking somebody out. Okay, now it'll either be if you're doing this, if you're contacting somebody from the past, Cancerians, the situation might be that this person blocks you out. And what is it that you can't see coming in? How are they blocking you out? Well, they might be sending you a nasty message, because you've got the Page of Swords showing in the reverse. And why are they doing that? Especially if you've let somebody down here, Cancerians. So if you're the ones that are feeling guilty, the pressure here with this Ten of Wands, around that feeling guilty. So pressure and guilt, sorry, with the Ten of Wands. Around that, you guys, the situation is that you guys put the knives into somebody's back because of new love. So if you guys sort of were doing a third-party situation or anything like that, might be for some of you guys, you have considered going back to somebody from the past. If you have, in your hidden factors, I think this person will block you out. And how will they do that? By sending you a pretty nasty message with that Page of Swords. Why is that? Because they might be feeling let down with the Three of Cups. Three of Cups also means unfaithfulness and cheating. So if you have cheated on anyone, if you've let somebody down, Cancerians, and you've decided to contact somebody from the past, don't expect to get a really nice message coming back from them. However, if you've been the one that's been feeling let down by somebody in a relationship that was fairly new and you're just coming out of it, it might be that this person's going to come back in the hidden factors, but the situation will be blocking somebody out. This might be the situation if you guys are blocking someone out. How are you doing that? By the Page of Swords energy. Page of Swords energy references, I think, you guys sending probably probably a very curt message. Why is that? Because you fell out with an individual, Three of Cups. There was a break in the relationship and you might have been feeling very let down, or that this person might have been unfaithful with that Three of Cups reversed. Immediate future though, wait seems to be over for some of you guys. Seven of Pentacles is showing in the reverse, in which, well, what's happening around that wait being over? There's a connection with another individual coming in, this Two of Cups. But why is that? I think that you're letting down your barriers here with the Strength in the reverse, okay? I think a wait is over here. You're letting down your barriers and you're open. Because you're already open. You're open all over this reading. You're really getting there. However, the overall outcome is the Four of Pentacles. So the situation will be you or this person is going to hold back with that Four of Pentacles. Well, what's the situation around you or the other person holding back? It's the High Priest. You might not be in line to have a traditional or conventional relationship with this individual. You might not really be in line to think about this person in a commitment way. It might be that you even, while you hold back, well, you're holding back because the situations you're holding back, and around that it might be that the person's really unconventional. It might be that the person's not exactly what you think of as in commitment material with the High Priest in the reverse area. It might be that you go against the grain. You just don't see this situation really going anywhere, and that's because of the Knight of Wands. You're still in search for something else, or that this other person will probably be still in line for something else. Could also be just as a thought that the situation's holding back, and for some of you guys you might hold back And what's the situation around you holding back? Well, the High Priest in the reverse, it might be that this person's not looking for a committed relationship. Especially for you Cancerians who are looking for committed relationships. It might be the other person's not looking for a committed relationship. They've got other ideas on what type of relationship they'd like to go for with the High Priest in the reverse. And it might be because they're a little bit of a player. So you might meet someone. For some of you guys who want a commitment, but you're just kind of playing with the energies to see who is out there, and you find someone, it might be that that person actually says, you know what, actually I just want to kind of play the field, or, I want to see you, but there's a couple of other people I'd like to see at the same time, and that might be easily the energies here as well. I don't think that we need to get any clarifiers on these areas, to be perfectly honest with you. I think the reading kind of speaks for itself. I just want to get strength in the reverse though. I want to see why the reason for the Two of Cups is strength in the reverse. So, Universe Spirit, this is a reading for single Cancerians. Why is the situation strength in the reverse being the reason for they're connecting with somebody in the immediate future? Why is strength in the reverse the reason that single Cancerians will connect with someone in the last 2 weeks of October 2017, show me? Well, you've got the option card of the Seven of Cups. Yeah, there's options for love, see? You've got Seven of Cups and the Two of Cups showing here. So there's definitely different options for relationships showing up here, because the Seven of Cups represents different options, and you've got the Two of Cups here for relationships. So there's different options for connections showing up here. So you guys, the reason that this is coming in is because you're letting down those barriers. You've got all those different options coming in for love. It's just that I just feel that things are not going to work out, it's going to be you that holds back, or it's going to be the other person that holds back. Okay? Reading Cancerians, those of you who are single, this is your angel advice card. So Universe Spirit, show me, what is the advice that you have for single Cancerians between the 1st and the 16th and the 31st of October 2017? What is the advice that you have for Cancerians between the 16th and the 31st of October 2017? Show me. It says, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life, okay? So love will be worth it, okay? When it comes, it will be worth it. It's just that if you don't find what you're looking for, Cancerians, just know that divine timing is at work in your love life. Okay, that's your reading, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.